Hey guys!
Hey guys!
We're back with another Walking Dead video. In this video we're doing our predictions for The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 14, titled Twice as Far. If you're not totally caught up on The Walking Dead and you want to avoid any spoilers, skip this video and come back later because everything we say from this point forward is going to be a spoiler. Okay, the synopsis for this upcoming episode on AMC.com looks really promising. I think this is going to be a great episode. And I'm just going to read it. It says, Alexandria is alerted after realizing someone is missing. Several search parties venture out, but what they find isn't what they're hoping for. So the first question is, who's missing?
Yeah, who is missing?
My first guess is it's probably Abraham and Eugene, judging from the sneak peeks and the promos. Because it looks like they've gotten themselves into a jam, and I imagine when they don't come back from their patrol or whatever they're on, then the search parties get sent out.
Yeah.
If it's not them, I'm going with Morgan.
Yeah, like Morgan's been having a tough time. He's kind of fighting this inner peace he has where he can't kill people with the realization that he kind of almost has to kill people, especially with what happened with the wolf. So maybe he leaves to seek some solitude or just kind of get a breather.
Yeah.
And doesn't return in a good time period.
You can see, as he was constructing the cage, he did take a moment and he had a full-on, emotional breakdown.
Yeah.
So maybe he's just in a place emotionally and mentally where he has to get away. And maybe he's like, you know what, I'm really not down with what the people here of Alexandria are doing. Maybe he just goes to the hilltop and doesn't tell anybody he's leaving.
Yeah.
It could be something like that. And because there is just like a 2-second shot in the promo where Rick is looking at the cage. So Morgan has obviously shown him, and maybe it's Rick's response that drives Morgan away.
Yeah.
Maybe he's like, what are you doing? We're not taking prisoners here. Come on. And that just drives this wedge, and maybe Morgan leaves because of that without telling anybody. But I really think it's probably Abraham and Eugene. Maybe they get ambushed out on a run, and when they don't come back, or when they are out on patrol, and then when they don't come back, that's what sets off this search.
Yeah. And we think that this episode is going to have a major character death because, for me, the last 2 episodes haven't really felt dangerous for the main cast. In the last one, yeah, Maggie and Carol were taken, but I never really felt like either one of them were going to die. The biggest thing that I was concerned about was that Maggie would lose the baby. That's the only thing I thought might have happened, but I didn't think Carol and Maggie were really in any danger.
I have 2 guesses as to who could possibly be the character death in this episode. My first guess is if Tara makes an appearance in this episode, it's her. Because I think she's doomed, and I think the next time she shows up, it's to die. If she's not in this episode, my money's on Abraham.
I think it's going to be Abraham. And the reason why I think it's going to be Abraham is we have that little sneak peek with Carol and Daryl's looking through the bike.
And what did Daryl find when he was searching through the motorcycle? A toy soldier.
Yeah.
So maybe there's some foreshadowing there. Like he finds this toy soldier and then he just throws it away.
Yeah.
Maybe that's some very subtle foreshadowing toward Abraham's death.
Yeah, so that's the biggest reason why I think it's going to be Abraham.
I think if Tara shows up, it's definitely her. If she's not in this episode, my money's definitely on Abraham. So, okay, this really isn't a prediction, but I want to take a moment or two to talk about the Saviors because they have a different kind of vibe for me in the show than they did in the comics.
Yes.
In the comics, yeah, they did. There was certain cult aspects to the group as far as Negan having multiple wives and that kind of stuff, but in the show, everybody said we are Negan. I am Negan. We are Negan.
Yeah.
We are all Negan. It's this motif of we are all Negan, and that seems way more cult-like than it was even in the comics.
Yeah, and all of the people want to be with Negan in his group, and it's not quite like that in the comics. You kind of get the feeling that they're there because there's nowhere else for them to go, and so they just deal with it. And I don't get that vibe from the people. Like the people in the little safe house that wasn't really safe. All of the people in there, like genuinely seem like they wanted to be with Negan.
Yeah.
That it was their choice to stick with him.
There's a level of devotion in the show to Negan among his followers, at least so far.
Yeah.
That is not in the comic. Now, of course, we saw Dwight and the women in the burned out forest, and they are apparently not, totally down with Negan. But I get the feeling that they are the extreme minority.
Yeah, but even so, I don't even think it was them. I think it was the young girl, and when she died, they went right back to Negan because Daryl was taking them to his, to Alexandria. So they had an out. And they chose not to take it. I think the young girl, the young girl who was diabetic, I think she was the reason why they left. I don't think they necessarily really wanted to leave.
So yeah, in the show, the Saviors come across as way more cult-like than they did in the comics. And I don't mean like, white robes, drinking the Kool-Aid kind of cult. I mean just devoted to this leader kind of a cult. He definitely holds sway with the group to a level where I really don't feel like he did in the comics.
Yeah.
Now, also conversely to the comics, Rick's group, we'll just call them the Survivors. I think that's unanimously what everybody's decided to call them, is the Survivors. They've massacred, several dozen Saviors.
Yeah.
In the comic, it really didn't go that way. They killed a few of them, and then Negan showed up and cracked some skull. In the show, they've massacred several Saviors.
Yeah.
They've blown them up. They've completely routed them out of a compound and a safe house. So Negan, I think, may feel threatened to a level where maybe he didn't in the comics.
Yeah.
So maybe his introduction will be a little more brutal even than it was in the comics.
Yeah, possibly. And I think that because they have taken out so many of the Saviors, and the guy at the end, was it Prim or not Prim?
Primo.
Primo. I don't know. Primo said that he was Negan. I think Rick's group is going to believe that they have taken out the Saviors and they're gone. Yeah. They are going to believe that, and it wouldn't surprise me if this belief goes on for the whole next episode.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for this video. We would love to know what your predictions are for The Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 14, titled Twice as Far. Let us know down in the comments. Let's discuss them. Also, if you enjoyed this video, and we really hope you did, be sure to tell us by clicking that like button and subscribe for more reviews and unboxings and all kinds of geeky awesomeness.
And thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next time.